And then we also going to be translating. Are you going to put your translator? No. Okay. Yesterday I said if you want to log in here, yesterday I sent you a URL code. Otherwise, you can in WhatsApp. You know, okay. So translating is translate.it as yesterday, as last. Guys, don't bother about with this computer. Is going to be okay. Don't worry. T for Tango, Y for yellow, LUZ. Voila. Okay, so we're broadcasting in this, and I'm going to put it also here, translating here. Voila. Okay, so it's working. I guess Luis is immediately connected. Okay, so perfect. So now today, you want to connect? Obviously, you know, now that we have connected with the script, you guys can just put it if you want to. Yeah. I find it interesting also to have the script in English even. Yesterday there was someone that put my voice from I had everything what I was saying was on a female voice from a mobile phone. It was very interesting, you know, talking about the use of technology in education. That could be interesting, especially for language teachers, to have a device like this, not just to translate, but just to have someone talking and then a voice saying the same things with you know, different accents. Is quite interesting. Okay, so now today, as planned, is the last day. This is the last day of the set of congresses on this European project, and we're going to be talking about the possibilities that we have in the future. Okay. Instead of going to the office, because we have very little time, we are here in a restaurant where we're going to have lunch. At the moment there is nobody, but it's going to get packed because today is Mother's Day in many countries. So happy Mother's Day for all the mothers, and as I put in my family, for the children as well. Okay. So the way we planned it is that we have different presentations from one representative from each of the teams. Giota just sent me a message. She was the representative, well, one of the representatives from Greece, and due to personal problems, she cannot connect. I don't know if Rachel is going to be able to connect either. Rachel, by the way, if you are connecting on the YouTube today, it might be more interesting for you to connect to the Zoom. Yeah. So I think it might be interesting to have maybe I guess Alexandra from Portugal. If we follow the same order as we did in the congresses, so first Portugal, then Greece, although unless Rachel connects soon, it's not going to be possible. And then we'll have Italy, and then we'll have Spain. So basically, we have like different, you know, presentations about what we think, what you think should be done. We take notes, and then eventually we can discuss. Yeah. Remember that it's very important to have two things. One is what you think should be done, and another thing is what you think you could do, which might not be the same. What you could do and what you want to do as individuals, because at the end of the day, EduPlat is formed by individuals, but also what you feel that your organizations are keen to do. Yeah? So, okay, so Alexandra is going to take
Sorry.
No, it's okay, it's my fault. It's my fault. I have the loudspeakers. And then once we have the three, remember everyone else that is outside, especially Luis, Ruben, and everyone. just, you will have an opportunity as well to connect. Yeah, you can see that now. Everyone is going in the mood of having the computer, so I'm just going to have my computer like this, and I guess it might be easier now. I'll change my name. From EduPlat, that was everyone here, and now I'm going to put just my name. So everyone is represented in the computer. Okay. Okay, so then Alessandra or Daniela, if you want to start with your presentation. Here there is no limit. You do the presentation for as long as you think is convenient. Obviously, the longer then, the more information you give, the fewer questions maybe we need to ask, or maybe something the other way around. Yeah, so I disconnect my microphone, and in that way, Alessandra can go on.
Hello, good morning, everybody. So today I had just planned here a brief presentation. Sorry, it's good. Nothing very complex or. But anyway, it's just something that we have used to just to organize some of the ideas, the future of EduPlat. Well, EduPlat, what we think from what we had, from the experience that we've had with this project, we think that the main topic was to develop a platform. That was the point, right? So the congresses happened so that we would promote the platform and we would feed the platform with resources. And now we have the platform, but we think that we have, or this project, this platform has a long way to go. There are many things that should be improved in the platform so that it works properly. It's good, but I think that the point is to make it even better, and that's why we got together, and last meeting in Italy, we started using the platform and giving feedback of what could be improved, what could be done to make it more functional, to make it better. The fact that yesterday we talked about it, the possibility of being able to create classrooms in the platform. I don't know very well. This was an idea how we could do this, and yesterday we were talking about this and discussing this topic in a hotel. It could be classrooms that we could have with our students to share resources, or classrooms of subjects. I don't know. It's a great idea. For me, I think that the next step is, for us, the next step is to promote the platform with next to the students and the parents. I think that it should not only be a platform for teachers, it should also be targeted for students and parents, educators. And I think that this project should continue, should go on in the future. And probably one thing that could be interesting to do is to open these congresses to parents, to educators, and to have other topics discussed that would attract parents. I think it would be a good idea, and even students, to engage them in some activity. I don't know. Indirectly, they were involved in this project because we have tested our resources with our students. But to involve them directly, I think it could be a great point to move on. Well, I don't know if, sustainability of this project, in order to be sustainable, yes, and we have talked about it, the possibility of submitting a new Erasmus project, something probably bigger, I don't know. Well, we've started working and getting involved in Erasmus project 2 years ago, so we have many Erasmus projects, but our experience is not, we don't have much experience We have all the projects at the same time, and we are getting experience with each day that we work with these projects. But probably a project like this would be a good idea to continue. Well, organizations involved. Talking about my school, we liked to participate in this project, but in the future, I think that our what we can give to the project, I think that we should and must continue working with the platform, feeding the platform with resources, promoting the platform with the teachers that we know. But getting involved as a responsible organization is difficult for us because, like I told you, and Alvaro, you went to my school, so you met the teachers. We are a small school. We don't have many teachers, and currently we have many Erasmus projects going on, and we are coordinators of 2 Erasmus projects, and it's too much work for not many people. So we would like to work with you, not directly involved, feeding the platform, participating in other congresses if you need, but not in with the responsibility that I think that the project needs. So that's what we would like to say.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I guess maybe instead of going everyone make a presentation, maybe we can make comments. I certainly have a lot.
Yeah.
Because much of what you say is very important for everyone. I guess. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So, guys online, if you cannot hear us, then just let me know. Okay. So basically, I mean, I totally agree with everything you said, Alessandra. Now, the objective of this project was indeed more than the objective. It's kind of like the aim. Was indeed the platform. But it's important to remember that the platform is the technical part, which we did last minute, and to be honest, that was like we surpassed our expectations. We only have to have a little prototype going on to be able to. It's like a step to launch the next one. So exactly. So, but we in that respect, we have a lot more, and I want to thank publicly here Ruben and Alejandro again, because it's thanks to them that we managed to get a prototype that was way beyond our expectations. Obviously, instead of having a little step, now we have a big step that we can boost more. But it's very important that the platform is also the people. And at the moment, the people, result-wise, we just under the expectations. But we managed, and this is something very good news, we managed to achieve the minimum. If you go in the consortium like teamwork, and before yesterday, we passed by 1. We had 720 in total, and before yesterday, we managed to get 721. So this is a good success. We managed to achieve the minimum of the people registered. Obviously, that meaning that there are many people that are aware of the project, that are aware of this. Some they're very, very involved, and we can see many people around here and online. And others are very little involved. Some of them so little that we just forgot, because they are involved in many projects, and it's very little of what they can do. But people is very important. At the moment, the way we've left it, we have the minimum, but it wouldn't be sustainable. If we don't continue like doing something, EduPlat would die for sure. That's guaranteed. Yeah, and before this project, in fact, when EduPlat was born, like about almost 15 years ago in Switzerland, I was part of the investigating project, and what was clear is that many platforms like a snowball effect. Once you have the minimum amount of snow, the snowball can roll and grab more. So it needs a minimum, and we haven't reached that minimum. We've reached the minimum that was expected for this project, because at the end of the day we couldn't, have limitations. But that is important, and it's the same thing with the resources. We have populated the platform of resources, but at the moment, for example, it's not sustainable in the sense that if anyone wants to go and look for many resources, EduPlat is not yet the best place to do it. Exactly. Exactly. So it's, yeah, exactly, exactly. And this is why, in a way, we need another project as well, because say, for example, someone goes to EduPlat now, and if the only interest that they have is in getting resources, which is most people eventually in the future, they're not going to find many, so they're going to say, "Oh, this is not good," and they're going to drop. We need not many people yet, but we need many people that are saying, "Yes, I understand I'm not getting much from it, but I'm giving out a lot because I know that in the future." So we need people like yourselves, basically, more, so that it gets populated. Then we drag others, and then with that, eventually, we manage to have it sustainable in many different ways. We also need to talk about sustainability regarding financial, and obviously, an Erasmus project, another Erasmus project could be one possibility. Regarding what you said about the classrooms, yeah, what we mentioned is groups and classrooms in other platforms that kind of like feed. For example, we mentioned Canva. Canva is a platform that has many resources, many templates, many things. But one way that we could share more easily in Canva would be to create a classroom in Canva. This is some that was a suggestion from Penelope, and then maybe we'll contact Penelope and say if she wants to lead from Greece that route, or anyone could add to that. And the same will happen in many other platforms. So we want to collaborate with other platforms that are there doing something different. These platforms are platforms to create resources. We are a platform to be able to share resources and to collaborate. But we don't have the technology, and we don't need to, because there are other platforms that have that technology to create. Like, for example, Canva, specialist in the graphic, although they're doing many things now. We have, for example, say Kahoot, that they specialize in the quizzes, and there are many others that are fine, and they want to get that. Now, regarding the part of what you feel that can be done, we discussed this in the past, and it's really good. Students and parents should be there. Now, it's very important, and in fact, one of the projects that we had with when we started developing this already in Portugal, if you remember Eduardo, and he also thought that it would be good to have a big KA2 involving more teachers, but also parents and students. And I feel that this would be dangerous in a way. Because we need someone that can lead that, and as you suggested, it's difficult to find an organization that can put the support of leading that. In Bienestar at the moment, we wouldn't be able to do that for many reasons that I'll talk later. But it's also dangerous because if we start grabbing too many people, eventually the platform might get other orientations. That is not the core. I think the core should be educational resources, and through these educational resources, it's very useful for students that are using them directly, and for parents, as you say. And for example, Margarita is using them as a one-to-one tuition, but the main use will be for school teachers. And yes, EduPlat is going to be for any type of teacher. A yoga teacher that's doing yoga in a gym is also a teacher. But we don't want people to go to the platform and feel, oh, there is lots of resources from this yoga teacher, but this is not for math teachers, this is not for language teachers, and this is not for all this, because they don't see enough. And yes, it's for everyone, but it's very important that if the main core, if the main use of the platform are still going to be teachers, at least at the very beginning, we don't want them to go to the platform and see so many other things that they don't know what's going on. So first, we need to kind of I think we need to build the platform so it's very clear that the platform is a great tool for all the teachers to grab resources, thanks to the many teachers that are already uploading resources. But and then eventually expand. I feel that if we expand it too much, maybe we could have, already difficult. It's already happening. Many people go to EduPlat and say, but I'm not sure about what EduPlat is about. So already, although we are really focusing on something very specific, we have met lots of feedback from people visiting, and from people that are in congresses, from people that they sign but they don't know what this is about. And at the moment, it's about sharing educational resources for teachers. And if we expand it to many, although it's there, like, it's already possible for any parent or any student to use, or any teacher that has, like, this is a resource that students can use on their own, by all means, they can do that, but we don't want, that to happen. Like, say, for example, if you remember when we were in Italy, most of the resources that were populated, and even the categories, were populated by who? By Ruben and Alejandro, that were not just doing the programming, but testing with some resources. And one of the things that we did at the beginning is we had to change the categories, because the categories that they had used were categories like imported from other platforms that are specific for creating courses, especially MOOC courses. And true, most adults go into these platforms, they want to do, like, I don't know, economy courses or IT or personal development. And those courses are more, those resources are more than welcome in EduPlat, but it cannot be the core, because if people go there and they see lots of for example, I don't know, economics, lots of resources for economics, then they're going to say, is this for me as a math teacher? Is this for me as a language teacher? For me as a science teacher? Yes, everyone is allowed, but we need to concentrate. And now, another comment important. I think ideal, you could be a great partner. Obviously, it depends on how you feel about your balance. The fact that you have a lower, like relatively low experience, that has been a great asset. Remember that this project we asked as a small project, small scale, and it was because you and us, that had no experience at that time, that we managed to get the project. But you also have another possibility, that you as a school, yeah, and you as a school, like, if we hadn't had you, they wouldn't have accepted the project from the feedback that they gave us in the national agency. So we need to have more schools. But then at the same time, the feedback that we had right from the very first Congress, it says you as a school, you have many advantages. You can grab many people. You have many teachers already. Whereas other organizations, for example, Income, Feta, or ourselves, exactly. And this is one of the things that I have in the presentation I want to say now. I think we need a balance of partners that are schools and NGOs. I think this balance, and it should be done ideally, in my opinion, if we manage to get it big enough, we should have it one-to-one in each partner country. For example, when I went to Portugal, I found that it might have been easier for me to be accepted as an NGO in the schools that are, competitors of your own school than yourselves. So maybe it would be good that the dissemination and all the work that has to do with, like, social media and everything is done by the NGO, specialists in that, and you take the role, like, for example, what you did, testing resources, providing more resources, like flooding the congresses with so many teachers that are keen, because the main job is to teach, and to teach they need resources. So it's a great tool, and nobody in the school that is coming to these congresses, I mean, probably not today, but the other days, was investing time that was not rewarded, because they were sharing resources, they came onto top ideas, like last minute things that are happening. And I think it's a great way to connect. So we should have had a school in every single country. But maybe a school is not the ideal candidate to do the dissemination, because at the end of the day, you teachers are always busy, and it's difficult for you to take away a big chunk of your time to dedicate to that. And I know. And again, I want to thank here, Alexandra, muito obrigado, because I know that you made a big effort, and you had to multitask, and you had to do many things. And well done, well done, because I know it's difficult. And in a way, I'm sorry to have forced you in a situation that was difficult, because you have your other many tasks in the school. So this is why I feel that maybe the next consortium should have a balance of school NGOs, that they can take someone, like, for example, Filippo, to say, hey, Filippo, you're going to work on this project, as well as many others, but then they can more easily do a time planning and say, hey, you have for this project 20 hours a week, or you have for this project others. But you cannot do that. Your main job is to teach, and your school wouldn't work if you didn't do that. And also as well, I understand that if you are involved in many of the projects, even leading now, it's gonna be difficult. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now, important, and this is for everyone, if we are to do like a large scale and in a K2, from what Luigi told me in the meeting in the Congress in Italy, it's not that it will be a good balance to have schools and NGOs, is that we need a school to be leader. And this is very difficult because a school leader can take, but if we have, and this is, for example, we will be willing to do that. And in fact, I have a candidate of a school here in Spain. So we cannot lead it because from what Luigi told us, they have an income effect, they have tried to submit this project many times. And eventually the feedback was maybe they didn't get it because there were no school. They are an NGO like us. But then again, I think the combination even for the leaders would, because yes, I don't know, it's like in politics. You have politicians that are doing all the talking, and they are the facade, but behind them, there is the people that are telling them what to say. They are assessing them on what to say, and it works well, But they needed someone that is, I don't know, nice looking and can have a facility of speech. In the world of the European projects, from what I understand, the nice looking is always at schools, because it's like, if you work to do with schools, how can you do that if you know school yourself? Yeah? And this is in a way is like the same thing. I feel like I've been a teacher before I was a parent, and I think I was doing a good job. It's true that now as a parent, it's different. But I think teachers can be very good teachers, even if they're not parents. So this is the same. I think we NGOs can work very well for schools, even if we know schools. But some people believe that that's not possible. It's like sadly, some people believe that teachers need to have children, otherwise they can't teach. I think it's silly. In my case, for example, one of the reasons why I'm less into teaching is because I have so many children in my house that I don't want to be all the time surrounded by children anymore. At least I have my breaks from, so I do more adult education and everything. Yeah? Okay, so I see many hands up. If you have any comments regarding the presentation, go ahead, Ruben. Otherwise, we'll move on. Remember, at the end, everyone is going to have plenty of time to talk. Yeah. So, Ruben, go ahead. Let's see if we can hear you.
Hello, guys. Thank you very much, Alessandra, for these comments. And Margarita as well is commenting in the forum. So just very quick, I just want you to understand how that the decisions that Alvaro and everybody of you are going to take about what is the future of the platform, especially in the technical part, will have a human cost and a time cost. There are things that we can do, and there are things that you need a team like Canva, or you need a team like Google of 100 people working, 100 professionals working 8 hours a day. Think that only being 2 guys here, that we are doing it in an NGO, we're doing it for free with our own time, it's not going to be possible. For example, all the classroom thing, it will require a team, it will require a preparation, and it will require technical skills that we don't have, and we are not going to be able to have it. So we are talking here that we are sometimes seeing platforms on the internet, and we don't realize that these platforms are 2 million projects, $2 million cost projects, 100 million cost projects, and we are 0. So we have to understand where we are, what we can do. And we're doing a lot. And there are things that we can do even with these technical skills and this money. For example, we cannot do classrooms, but we can do forums where different schools can get together and share their different things. So all of these things has been talked in Italy, in Molfetta. Some people say things about that. So we have it in account. We are counting on it, and we will talk later on if we develop it or not. What will we decide, Alvaro and company, if we do that or not? The human time and money, and the cost, the human time, human cost, and human money. So if we have the money, maybe we can do it. If we have the time, maybe we can do it. And you know how it works. There is a triangle, you know, you have the 3 points of the triangle, you have cost, you have money, and you have quality. If you try to do it fast and without money, you don't have quality. And that is right now what we have. So we have a thing that I'm proud of it, but I have to understand that it's not a real quality thing. And we aim to do that. For that, we are going to need time, or we are going to need money. I don't know why, but I think time is going to be more logical than money. But sometimes Europe can help us. For now, what we do is we are young, so we have time. And with the time, this is going to be a lot better. And things like forums, we can do it. Can we do platforms? Well, Alvaro was talking about that. There is a lot of professional companies, really big companies that do that kind of things. So it's not worthy for us to compete with that. It's not only not worthy, it's not possible. So we have to find our own niche, our own place where we can do something that contributes to the community, that we are proud of, and it's really good, but on our terms. So in the places that we can go. Any proposal about the future of the technical part of the platform, because Alvaro, remember to say that we have a technical part, but EduPlat is a lot more than just this platform. So for this platform, any technical thing that you ask, we're going to take it in account. We're going to have here a list with all your requests and ideas. And I hope in the future we're going to discuss which one of them is going to be the first, and which one of them is going to be the second, and which one of them is not going to be possible. But of course, we are going to be happy to have this list. So anything that you can contribute to make this list bigger, and we can do the platform bigger and better. So we are really into it. We're continuing doing that. That's not going to stop. So this is going to be as big as we are, but not much than that. So yes, please, any ideas that you have, just have in mind that probably we are not going to be able to do it, but who knows? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, gracias, Ruben. So to summarize in a way what Ruben said, I totally agree. But it's very, very important, and also for you, Ruben. True, there are many things that we need to develop technically in the platform, that we need either lots of time that someone is volunteering, lots of money that someone is paid for, and we have limitations on that. But what we have to offer that other organizations cannot offer is the fact that we are no profit, and this is very, very important. If there is one platform that I know of, like we have if you go on our website, there is a list of platforms that are they have things that we want to copy, that we have copied, and there no platform is exactly what we want to do, and this is why it makes sense. If there is one platform that is very similar to what we want to create, is Teachers Pay Teachers. But this is very important. Now, Teachers Pay Teachers is as an organization, is for profit. Okay, so it's very important. So me as a teacher, if I put my resources there, I'm thinking, well, if they are for profit, I want to make profit too. And if I'm not making more profit, and many teachers are putting resources there, and they're making so little profit, I wonder what's the point? If you can take euros and you have to put like hours and hours of work, like, if I was a painter and I do a nice painting, unless I sell it for a decent money, I'd rather give it out. I'd rather donate it. I'd rather have it for free to everyone. And this is what EduPlat is about. EduPlat is about sharing resources, ideally for free. True, we might eventually add resources that can be shared for profit from some teachers that say, "Oh, this is so good, I want to share it for profit." Eventually, that might be a possibility for us to be sustainable. Our main aim is no profit, and I think this is the core. But at the same time, the time is valuable, and especially when someone is putting so much time. Say, for example, from what Alexander said, if IDL now wants to collaborate, but behind the scenes. Behind the scenes could be two possibilities. It could be behind the scenes soft, that is you're not an official partner, but you're still continuing. And we hope by all means you do. Obviously, the amount of time that you're going to be able to put there is going to be less than what you've done so far. Makes sense. And if then we have like the same goes for anything, especially the programming. And the feedback that I had and the experience that I had in the past many years, not just of EduPlat, but in general in Bienestar, we had many teachers, many people in general that have been giving like very, very keen on helping. The problem is that to organize all of that is costed a lot of time from, in my case, from myself and from others in the organization that can be doing things. And many of them, the amount of help that they have offered is very limited because the time was limited, because eventually they might have other issues. For example, they had to feed the children or they had to feed themselves. They had to earn some money. So just like for Bienestar, we're trying to have a balance between how much offer is being helped like for free as for volunteers and how much of that is professional. I think in EduPlat, we should also try to do that. I think we need to have financial help so that eventually some people can collaborate for free, and it's always going to be that. And without that, we wouldn't survive for sure. But also we can have possibilities for those who want, who can, and who need to have income from the project can have that. Because otherwise, it's not possible. We cannot have one person dedicating 20 hours every single week, not receiving money for too long. Because, yeah, fine, as Ruben said, if they're young, they can do it for a little while, but then if they're young, they need to be thinking about their future and they need to be getting that. So this is very important that we find solutions to the sustainability. And also regarding the project, as Ruben said, very important, anything that you think that should be done or could be done, and by all means report it. And we will not do everything, not just because, as Ruben said, that we are limited in the amount of time that we can dedicate to it, but also if we don't keep it simple, then people are going to be so confused that cannot happen. And also, if we add many things without testing the previous, eventually the whole thing will be done so quickly. So even if we had unlimited amount of money, we wouldn't want to we wouldn't want to do every single suggestion that people are saying, because otherwise it will get too complicated. But by all means, do that. There are already in the website many, many ideas that we gather right from the birth of the EduPlat project. Basically, there was like a few of us, we were doing a thesis on the user verification and IT. And many of these ideas, we haven't even thought about where we're going to do them in EduPlat, but they're there. They're there ready because they will enable us to grow. Maybe by the time that this happens, they will be not useful, but maybe they will. So all of these ideas is very, very important. And we cannot get these ideas without your help. Without the help of people that are not just using EduPlat as a way to get resources, but feeling that EduPlat could be part of their, it's like, you know, it's a baby for me, it should be a baby for all of you. It's something that well before we die, well after we die, is going to be there helping others. So if you feel that you are, you know, they said humans, we need to write a book, to have a baby, and what was the other, to plant a tree. Well, I don't know those trees, but I think I want to do more. I want to do one thing that is like a tree that grows, a baby that I feel like I need to care after, and it's like a book that is helping others to learn. And I think EduPlat for me is the trees. The tree is the baby, and is the book. And I had the three of them, but I want to have something like that. So if EduPlat is not for you, please, you know, continue the way you want to continue, because we can change the world that way. But we need the core first, and then eventually expand into others. Yeah? Okay, Margarita, you have your hand up. Yeah, you want to go ahead.
Yeah, there are some platforms, as you said, teachers pay teachers, and they have to do like a lot of advertisement of buy my resource, and I think the other one that I wrote down, I cannot remember the name. I cannot remember. I wrote down in the chat another one, and it's the same. You have to do a lot of advertisement in order to get likes. So if you get so many likes, your resource is at the beginning and so on. But there is a Spanish one that is called Cumubox. And this platform, you can, it's like a membership. So you pay a certain amount of money a year, and you get unlimited resources, and it's also, you can find also webinars, courses, and so many things. And the payment is affordable, so you can pay. It's much better if it's for free, but for free you can only get a few downloads. I don't remember if it's a month or a week. You can get some resources for free, but not a lot. So it's different from Teachers Pay Teachers and the other one that I cannot remember the name.
It's okay, Margarita.
But yeah, so it's like to have a membership or something. But if we have a membership, it's the same like Cumubox. Cumubox is already there, so it's like
just by how much is the Cumubox membership? Just by
I cannot remember, but you can pay by yourself, or you can pay like Claustro, that is a 6 teachers membership.
Okay.
I will find how much I pay.
No,
and
this is like, you know,
it's not that much, but for South America, for Latin America, it's not affordable.
Yeah.
It's everything is
even
really
okay.
Expensive for South America.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Margarita. Now, remember, here we're not just talking about whether it's affordable or not. We're talking about the core. For me as a teacher, if I'm given resources and I'm not expecting to get money, and this is many teachers that we think we can get, what would I pay for that? Like if I want to help others, like for me, if I'm given a resource and then Daniela is using it, it's good that she's using it. And for me, the benefit that I get is that I know that it's not just Daniela I'm helping, it's Daniela's students. And for me, that's the key. Like I've been working as a teacher for many years, and I've been now involved more in teacher training and basically in helping teachers, because I like my job as a teacher because I feel that I was helping the society. But if I help teachers, I'm helping those who are helping. And why would I pay? Why would I make them pay? I don't want to. Even if it was €1 for me, is the whole idea of no, it should be free, and maybe that is the main flag, the main brand that we have in EduPlat. That it has to be free for those who are collaborating to get that. True, if eventually we feel that there is a possibility of having sustainable and some teachers are getting money, then there could be a commission like this, but that is like secondary. The main thing has to be we want to help teachers share resources, and obviously it doesn't help whether it's little or big to have to pay a fee. So I think at the moment that will be too much, but it's true, we can get ideas from these other platforms. But the main reason there is a need for EduPlat is because I think there is a need for free education, for open source education, and that doesn't exist. All of these other websites, they either like oriented for profit, or they are from many local governments have relatively good websites. But the problem of the local governments is that they're there for 4 years, and the next intern, they're not very keen on continuing. Then they're very localized, often not just a country, but sometimes a region. And at the end, it's not what we want. We want EduPlat to be there for forever and to grow, and not depend on others. An NGO, basically, non-governmental. Yeah. Okay. Unless you have many questions regarding what we've been saying, maybe it might be good to give the microphone to the next person presenting. I guess Rachel or there's nobody from from Greece now here. So, Filippo, if you want to present what you feel has to be done.
Yes, can you hear me? No, so I have to. Can you hear me? Okay. So thank you, Alvaro. I interest what you said before, but in this case, I would like to talk about like income of ETA's perspective, because not being a teacher or education organization, like our point of view is more focused on the implementation or design or on to how to spot financial opportunities in the Erasmus field. Talking about the EduPlat project, I think that it may be ambitious from the perspective of teachers, students, families, and schools, and so on. Today, I would like to talk about how we can sustain this project, and would like to start by talking about competencies. So, what contributes to the future of EduPlat in this case? And I'm going to share the screen just to show you. I don't want to talk about technicalities, but I just want to give you an overview, an overall of what can be an opportunity for EduPlat. So I'm going to share my screen and let you see. Okay, just starting. This is our website, and I'm doing this because in this case I will show you what's our let's say competence, which is in this case key action 2 is a huge box in which we can find small scale partnerships this time, but not only, because cooperation for innovation and the exchange of good practices can be a good opportunity, because it allows organization on two levels, let's say, on small scale and large scale. And this can be good because we can transfer innovative practices, good practices, not only at international level, but also at the local and regional or national level. What else? We can strengthen the capacities and the skills of the organization. What EduPlat does is really good, because like between teachers on international way, international level. So having a look on these opportunities, I would like just to give you some hints. Some head is the vocational education and training, which is like staff teaching. The VET basically allow to each organization, which can be business, public bodies, social partners, and in this case, I guess it's more interesting, research institutes and NGO, to basically allowing teachers to teaching abroad. So why, like, I mean, why not like letting teachers teaching abroad? This can be, for example, a good opportunity. And here, like in this on the screen, you can say the duration, which can last minimum of 2 days up to 1 year. And obviously here you can find the conditions that I'm not going to talk about it, but because this can be talked later on. But the important thing, obviously, it's the financial support, because in this case there is a coordinating organization, and which can be funded for travel and subsistence costs during the time abroad. In this case, for example, we talked about this during the Congress in Molfetta. You cannot apply for a grant as an individual, but application must be made by VET institution that select candidates for teaching and training assignments abroad from their staff. We can talk about it later. And other opportunities can be, for example, this one, which is in this case, there are two differences between like program countries, between program countries and partner countries. I would like to just show the difference, because in this case, what a program country is. Program country are basically what non-European countries, so Albania, Algeria. So we can also widen our networking with other research institutions and so on. And the program country, as we know, can be Italy, Poland, Portugal, Spain, Romania, and so on. So while we, as EduPlat, apply for a small-scale partnership that we know, we also, if we like this way to, I would say, to design project on a small scale, we can also apply for small-scale partnership in youth. So our target would be youngsters, and being a teacher can be a good opportunities in order to strengthen capacities between organizations and involve individuals that sometimes are excluded, because Europe would also focusing on two, let's say, requirements, which is horizontal priority and specific priorities. So Europe needs to receive from organization, Europe needs to be guaranteed that organization can cover these two, let's say, sub-issues, which is horizontal priority and specific priority. So we must guarantee, for example, inclusion and diversity, digital transformation, participation in democratic life. And on the other side, Europe needs to see that each organization must guarantee, for example, the promotion of equal opportunities. For example, we can cover organizations with fewer opportunities, which mostly come from rural parts of cities. So let's say, for example, an organization that wants to strengthen their capacities, but live like not in the rural city, So Europe needs to see these requirements, and this is the small scale, which is different from large scale, basically on 2 points, which is like funds is less funded, and the other side is the duration can last up to 2 years. And I'm talking about this cooperation partnership, which is the main goal of the cooperation partnership. We are talking about more money here. For example, we are, as Income of FETA, following a cooperation partnership KA2 funded with mostly 300,000 euros. So more money, more opportunities, more resources. The primary goal, as you can read, of cooperation partnership is to allow organizations to increase the quality, to develop and reinforce and strengthen capacities among their organization. So among the partnership, increase their capacity to operate jointly at transnational level. This is very much important, because we can cover a long distance among the partners. And here you can read, as I said, the main objectives of the action. In this case, there is obviously, as always, like who is eligible to apply. And in this case, any participating organization established in a new member state or third country associated to the program can be the applicant. What else I would say? This is details that we can discuss about it later. And this is it basically. Here we are talking. Here you can. I want to underline what I was talking about before. So in this case, we have to address priorities that Europe wants to see guaranteed, which is the horizontal priorities, I say. So we must talk about inclusion and diversity, digital transformation, environment, and fight against climate change, and or one specific priority, which is obviously relevant to the field of education in this case, or training or youth. Sports, I don't think is like in line with what we are talking about. And specific priority, as I said, it's fairness, it's diversity, it's a guarantee, is promoting equal opportunities, for example, to people with fewer opportunities. So this is basically what we see when we talk about sustainability of EduPlat. If we obviously want to be funded, we need to address these categories of Erasmus program. And based on our competencies, we can ensure our collaboration, and we can also be on this. I mean, guarantee our participation in implementing, in management, and in spotting these opportunities. Thank you.
Grazie, Filippo. Thank you very much. Very, very, very interesting. Thank you also for actually the time gathering all the information. I guess you had a chat in Completa, probably with Viti and everyone. I'm going to try to summarize you also because I couldn't follow everything. So then go back. I understand well, you propose 4 different possibilities. One, I mean, they all to do with Europe, obviously, for possibilities, yeah, which is your specialty. And it's important for everyone to know in Completa were selected because they do have lots of experience with Europe. And as you said, you lack of others, like, for example, school. Yeah, that's interesting, for sure. Now, so if I understand well, the first one was VET, vocational education and training, which you suggest that can easily be applied to teacher training, because that is the case. For me, that was it. For me, we don't need anything else. I think this should be what we should do. In fact, in a way, I regret not having done that earlier, because I think VET is more EduPlat than the one we selected. I was advised really badly, and we in Bienestar, we actually hired an organization, like a consultant, to help us decide all of this. It was 1,500 euros, the bill. We managed to cut in half because eventually we realized that this consultancy wanted us to do all the work and then them only adding little bits. So it was really terrible. We wasted 750 euros. And they didn't even tell us that. Like, I feel that from what Filippo said, VET should be more EduPlat than what it is now. So my question is, you said that it has to be an institution, a VET institution. So you need to register, like, with, for example, the youth exchange that you have the quality that we now, for example, we now have this quality from the European Corps. Is it the same in VET? You said something about VET institutions, like as if they had to have a qualification, like the I don't know if you know this, but I mean, we now, for example, that accreditation. Do you need to have this accreditation specifically for VET, or?
So yeah, in order to get the like BET qualification, you need to be accredited. But like this is our, it's better because yeah, like you are most qualified to be sending and hosting. So because they are like teaching and training, so you can, and in that case you can get a grant for in order to host, in order to send.
Okay, thank you. So yes, so I understood well. Yeah. So I feel that this certainly is a lot to EduPlat, because at the end of the day, and this connects with one question that Margarita wrote: who is our target? Well, I think our target is clear: it's teachers. Maybe if, instead of thinking of teachers pay teachers, we should quickly be called teachers help teachers. That's EduPlat. Teachers help teachers. That's why I don't like teachers pay teachers, because if the whole thing is about paying each other, well, I don't think that should be there on. So EduPlat, if could be translated as teachers help teachers. So if teachers help teachers is translated as teachers training other teachers, then this is bad. This is us. And in a way, and this connects with what we've been doing in this project. One of the results that we need to support, and we failed at that, but it was not expected, was to have accreditation for the teachers that came to these congresses. Now, we are going to give accreditation to all the teachers that are selected in premium, but it's EduPlat accreditation, is Bienestar's accreditation, Income Buffet's accreditation. Obviously, for Instituto de Marca de Lemos, is internal accreditation, which is obviously not as useful as if it had been what we wanted to have. Now, remember, by the way, Filippo and Alessandra, we need to have that uploaded in the toolkit. The steps that you took and the steps that need to be taken. Because although we don't have accreditation, this is the result. And this is a very good result. Because we need to put that in the project for now and in the project for the next, especially if we go on vet. So we need that, very important. But yes, is educational training for teachers, and this is EduPlat. Now, just to clarify with you, so you mentioned an option B that is HEI, higher education institution. Yeah. I'm not sure how this connects with EduPlat as much, unless, and this is something I discussed with Luigi as well, unless we say, oh, let's focus on the universities. And we could, and in a way we were targeting, specifically for this project, there were two universities that I really targeted. One was the University of Zaragoza, and it's a public institution. I work for them as a consultant. The problem with the University of Zaragoza is that as a public institution, to get official recognition and partnership is too slow, too complicated. So I tried to do the same with another university that is doing teacher training here in Aragon, and is San Jorge. Now, I had very high expectations. In fact, our idea was to have this congress at the University of San Jorge. Maybe I called them in a wrong time. I know that they are a private university and they have more flexibility. Well, at the end, nothing happened with them. So if anyone is hearing this from University of San Jorge, please remember to reply to the emails that we sent you. Now, could EduPlat be done in a higher education? Well, yes, because at the end of the day, if we are targeting teachers, instead of targeting teachers in schools, we could be targeting teachers in a school of education. And this would be ideal because they are young, they have lots of time, they need resources, they don't have the practice. So this will be ideal. The problem is gain partners with schools of education. I don't know how much you guys tried in your own countries. I really tried here with, and I have contacts. I mean, as I said, I actually work for the University of Zaragoza. My wife, Alejandra Cortez, is very, very, very involved in the University of Zaragoza. And even though it was difficult to get that, plus obviously they are involved in 1,000 different European projects. not easy.
Yeah, and I would like to say that higher education institution can be another resource that we can consider, because basically what's happening is this, that like you apply for a grant via like the higher education institution. Okay, so after that the institution can either select candidate to be sending them or to be receiving them, and basically like teachers teaching in other institutions can be another opportunity for teachers, because it's not just about sharing educational resources, but it can be sharing educational resources in other institutions in presence, which can be appealing for teachers because they want to widen their capacities. They work. Like, let's imagine this as an Erasmus student. Like as Erasmus students, I would like to go to another university, see how is working there, what I can get from there, how I can boost my training and my teaching skills. And it works that in this way, that you work with a minimum of 2 days up to 5 or 8 months for a minimum of for max of 8 hours, I guess, per week. I can check that, but it works like teaching like teachers in our country. So it's like well settled, well organized, and obviously all the selection needs to be done in a fair, transparent way, and so on, but can be appealing as well, I guess.
Thanks. Yeah. So basically, because I have this written down, but for the last, so teachers teaching abroad, will that be within the higher education institutions or within the last one, cooperation partnership? Cooperation partnership. So yeah, that's that. So that makes sense. So it's at the end. So then the third one I had is the youth. That I understand that you in Comofeta are experts on that. Now, obviously, this connects with your suggestion. I think it was Alessandra's about having students there. Now, I feel that eventually, in the future, this will be the what we have to do. This will be, but I don't think our second project should be a youth project. I think it should be more to do with teachers, and maybe the third or the fourth EduPlat project could be youth. Yeah, they're very important. So basically, so you have the vocational educational training, which I think is really, really adequate. We have a higher education, we have the youth, we have the cooperation partnership, which I feel that it will be very difficult to establish, because it can be done as in a cooperation, because this is not just teachers helping teachers, this is schools helping schools. So if we set it up as schools helping schools, then obviously it could be a cooperation partnership. But my guess is that for that, we'll need many schools candidates to be strong leaders within the EduPlat project. At the moment, the strongest candidate that we have is Andrew Lemos. And obviously, if they, you're involved in so many other things, and you want to collaborate but not with the leaders, then that couldn't work. Yeah, makes sense. Because as my experience as leading this project is that it is like 3 times more time consuming than I expected. It's just crazy. I love this time, but to be honest, I've never been so busy my whole life, and I had to get rid of many jobs that are much higher paid to be able to do this. To be honest, and it's just crazy for that. Now, so my question for you again, Filippo, and representing Comofeta. How much are you able, as in Comofeta, because we know that you have lots of experience in European projects. As in Comofeta, especially, I know that you have lots of experience in youth projects. We connected with Comofeta before EduPlat because they invited us to participate in a youth project. That was really good. I loved Comofeta. We couldn't participate at the end, mainly because it was on a time that it was not convenient for Spanish youth people, because it was ideal for after school, and Spain had 1 week longer than in Italy and other countries, at least that year. But how much experience, or experience, and if you have the accreditation in vocational educational training and in cooperation partnerships, or even in higher education, as in could you lead EduPlat project if it was in any of these three? I know the number 5 will be again another school project, which I know that you cannot because Luigi told me. But could you, and will you be willing to lead EduPlat if it was on A, vocational education training, probably B, higher education, or D, cooperation partnership?
Well, as I mentioned at the beginning, not being an educational association or institution or research, I see very hard for us to be the applicant. But we can like think about it in the cooperation partnership field, because in that case we are talking about strengthening capacities of organization, not properly educational organization. So I would say that we would be more keen on leading the cooperation partnership. Also for like one reason also, because being Mofetta able to manage all the administration and financial issues that can occur to this field, it could be more feasible for us to lead the cooperation partnership more than VET and higher education, mostly because in the VET, which is vocational educational training, you must be accredited, but no, you are not. So I see hard in that case.
Okay, so yeah, very interesting. My field is that from these 5 options, the one that we have chosen, and we cannot repeat, I think the vocational educational training, I see the one that is the most. But D could be really good. So personally, I think if you could, in the near future, no rush, present a project for cooperation partnership, I think it could work as well. But it has to be, remember, I think it's very important that we focus on what is our target. Our target is teachers help teachers. If we can transform this into schools, helping schools, yes, but I see it difficult, and obviously we will need many schools, because we need to prove that it's schools helping schools. We cannot just have NGOs helping NGOs help schools, because that I don't think Europe will do that. But if you think that you are capable and you're keen on a future project, that's something that will be very interesting to have. I vote for Econ Mofetta to be the leaders. If you present yourself as candidates, yeah? And this is very important. I think we said it from the very beginning, and Bienestar has been leading the EduPlat project since the beginning, but you know, we are very willing to give the role to another organization, and we will be very glad to support the project from being a partner. Very happy. Okay, so many things now. I think now it's 11:15. Let's do this. I have a little presentation, because most of what I wanted to say, I've already said it. So I will do what I had written to say, and then eventually we'll have a break. It's going to be a long break, because it's getting very noisy here. It's getting more people than I thought it was going to get. And also because I want to have an informal chat. I want to have an informal chat that is not recorded, is off the record. But you, by all means, you guys are you know, you can join your own conversations amongst each other if you have time. I propose, because I need to be connected with the Zoom, that if you want to do it, if you want to have, when we have this very long break, have your own conversations, that you join it. Since there are many of you are from Spanish-speaking countries, you join the Spanish channel. Yeah, the same we used yesterday, Spanish channel on Skype. All you have to do is click on the Spanish flag, and that goes for obviously people from the other side of the Atlantic, people like Francesco. You can join the Spanish channel later. So this way I conclude with my presentation, and then we will come back maybe just like 12:45. I think will be a good time to have just like a final presentation and conclusions. 12:45, maybe earlier, 12:30. Let's do 12:30. Yeah. So my presentation, I'm gonna try to keep short. What I have written. Now, well, the first thing is that important, and I said it many times, EduPlat was meant to go well beyond this European project. In fact, it's meant to be going well beyond Europe. And we have a very keen representative of countries that are not Europe. And so I want to thank here Luis, that has been collaborating with EduPlat. We had many people registering from Latin American countries, but even more after Luis started relatively recently cooperating with us. So thank you, Luis, for this. We want this to happen in many countries, and we know that Latin America is certainly a strong candidate. Obviously, we have candidates in English-speaking countries. But it's true that with English-speaking countries, platforms like Teachers Pay Teachers work better. I feel that within the more Latin culture, maybe it could work on Teachers Help Teachers More. But for sure, this has to go well beyond Europe. And the only reason we are discussing a lot of Europe is because we feel very Europeans, and we feel that Europe has lots of finances that can help EduPlat. But by all means, if anyone, especially you, Luis, you find that there is possibility to have finances elsewhere, go ahead and let us know. Maybe later. Yeah. Now, EduPlat K2, I think we need to increase for sure. Because if we were to have to lead EduPlat, and if nobody takes the leadership, and we cannot find a suitable candidate, then Bienestar will be in a way leading again another project. We cannot lead again in school. We are not qualified, not accredited to do a vet, although I worked, for more than the past 10 years, I've been working on teacher training. So it could be something that would be an interest, but obviously I would need to know how much it takes to get this accreditation, etc. So that will be difficult. And we could reload on a small scale partnership for others, but I think it might be more interesting to do it on a bigger scale. But again, it's a possibility. So we EduPlat at the moment, especially if we have to do it in November, we're not going to be able to do to lead in November on a big scale, and that's guaranteed. It's impossible. It would be too much. But we could, if there's no other possibility, be leaders on another small scale project. And I wonder whether vocational educational training could be one. I don't think cooperation and partnership, correct me if I'm wrong, cooperation and partnership, I think is only on big scale. There's no small scale. There's small scale as well. And there's small scale. So, and can you do small, could we run vocational educational training on a small scale, not having the accreditation? No. But, so vocational educational training has to be on a big scale. Okay, and then DET can be a small scale? No, only big scale. That's something. That's it. That's it. And it has to be on a big scale. Okay. Okay, so it's like they don't have to separate small and big. You can just submit it, and if it's small scale, that's okay. Big scale. You apply. You apply.
Yeah, like you don't apply small and large for everything.
Yeah.
Have the separation and large and small.
Okay. Okay. So in schools and cooperation partnership. Because the one that we had was the cooperation partnership.
Yeah, but small scale
So-
in school.
Okay, so
Like you can, for example, apply in small scale in you.
see, I don't even know where we applied. So we applied cooperation partnership in school.
Yeah.
So that's the same one.
That's why before I show you the small scale in you, because you cannot.
Okay, so we can do again cooperation partnership. Okay. So I thought we had, so basically that's it. We can only do either vent or big scale. I see, yeah. Okay, so basically, our possibilities as PNSR are limited for that. And in adult education, which is if we manage to do adult education for teachers, and that could be small scale, I guess that will be working, but that's the thing. And then there is also another possibilities that we have, and I was discussing this with Thomas yesterday. I don't know if you're there, Thomas. If you are, show your hand. I don't think you are. So one project that we have, and this is to do with what I'm doing now more. I worked for more than 20 years for a company that is specialist in directing educational projects. But their educational projects is mainly business-like, in the sense that basically they are a travel agency, specialists in education, but the specialization is just because they have many clients from schools, and they are wealthy schools. But I have tried to get them into doing, like, content that is really, really clear on specifics, and I never managed. Like before COVID, this organization was relatively small, but they have lots of money because they have very good clients. And even then, I told them, hey, just with the project of 3,000 euros. 3,000 euros for them was like peanuts, was like nothing, was like just okay, have it. But they were not willing, because their focus was on getting the logistics organized for the schools, but being disconnected from the educational parts. And I think that's wrong. I think schools, and I've seen many, many schools that they have very good preparation for educational resources specific for the tours, but most of them are not. Most of them, they just come with the students and they have no time. They just want to disconnect from school. And as a teacher myself, I totally empathize with that. But the result is that there are many schools that are taking tours even more now with Europe, because Europe is financing many school exchanging. But most of these, the amount of work that is being done on the specific resources that need to be used is very limited, very, very limited. So we still see schools getting the students as if they were sheep. Like, okay, now we go to this museum, now we go here, now we go there. And I understand that for teachers, this is a difficulty. So one possibility of EduPlat could be, say, if we are a specialist in teachers help teachers, schools help schools, we could dedicate it to the idea of schools help schools in the exchange, in the educational tool. Because say, for example, you could be planning some activities to do specifically in your region, and those activities are going to be used for many of these schools coming, probably not from Portugal, probably coming from Italy, from Spain, from Greece, from all of these countries there, that don't have the time, they don't have the resources, and they don't have the interest mainly to plan for so many activities in a country so far away that they might go only once, maybe twice in their whole lives. And I think maybe that could be a possibility. I don't know if that could be as in another school project, as in cooperation, partnership, schools help schools, specific with traveling. And it could be a possibility. But then again, if we were to lead it, it will have to be on a big scale, and we're not ready to do that. We cannot lead a big scale project in November. And I think if we don't do it this November, EduPlat will not be sustainable. I think if we try to do the same, like applying for a project, say in May, which is the earliest that we could do it, by the time that we have the answer, will be the May the year after. So too late. EduPlat cannot wait 12 months to have something. We can wait a few months, and thanks to the cooperation of everyone involved, and as you said, Alessandra, you're willing to continue, like even though there's not going to be any finance, even though there's not going to be any cooperation, just continue to feed EduPlat with resources, with teachers, with connecting. But unless we do another European project within 6 months, the rhythm, I feel it will die, and it will be really sad if it did. It will be really sad if it did. Okay, so this is how I wanted to, in a way, conclude. Maybe some of you guys from the outside have other suggestions. Unless you have wanted to give your presentations right now, I think we could have a 1 hour break. So that way we can come back here and then do like last minute things on what each of us thinks about can be done. But I really want to have a more private conversation with them over here, probably outside this place in a more calm and off the record. And I think it might be interesting. Yeah. Okay. So is that okay for everyone? So it's 12:30. It's 6:30 in the Central European time. Margarita, you want to say something quick?
Yeah. I get confused about we have to meet in
I will just explain
different language channels.
No. Okay, I will repeat it now. Yeah.
Yeah, please.
So
please.
important for everyone. We are going to be reconnecting at 12:30. 12:30 Central European time. We reconnect just to give final ideas, presentations of what we think. Now we're going to have a 1 hour break. I need to talk to them off the record. Away from here, like in an easy environment, without computers. But what I'm suggesting is that if you, Margarita, Ruben, Francesco, Luis, Ivan, anyone else that is there, the long list of people that are there, even people that are watching this live now on the YouTube, if you want to connect, one easy possibility will be connecting the Spanish channel. And then if you feel that the language of communication is Spanish, then do go ahead. If you want Español or like a mix of many languages, over you go. But that will be off the record. Don't even register. It's just an opportunity for you to connect. We are all connecting here again, Zoom and YouTube, 12:30. Okay, clear? So just in case, I'll put it again here. Bye. Sorry. Back at 12:30, and now I can say is certainly PM, because 12:30 is PM. And I'll see you guys later. I'll put it again in the Zoom, here. Okay, so see you guys later. Enjoy.